it all inside. I've given everything I can. And here we are again.
I'm going to take you through how you make whiskey. We put our grain in here. This thing is called a mash tun, and this is how beer starts as well. You put all the grain in, and then you add 450, 500 gallons of boiling hot water to the grain. And the idea is to extract the sugars and the starches that are in the grain so that later that the yeast will have some food to eat. You mash it in, it's like an oatmeal thing, and you try to actually extract all that sweetness. So what's left behind is the wort, W-O-R-T, which is a German word for hot sweet liquid. And then the wort gets pumped over to these two long cylinders there, which actually act as a heat exchanger. It's called a wort cooler. It needs to get cooled down because you've got boiling hot water going one way and cold water going the other way. So you want to reduce the temperature so that when it goes into the fermenters, when you pitch the live yeast, I think of live yeast as like little Pac-Men that go around eating sugars and the starches from the grain and naturally converts to CO2 and alcohol. So if the temperature is too hot or too cold, the yeast will not survive.
So that's what's making the alcohol.
That's what's making the alcohol. So once it's done its thing in the fermenters, it's now fermented alcohol, and it's called wash. So the wash then gets pumped in over here, which we're not going to go too close to because that is boiling hot. And this is our still. And basically before that, that's where beer and whiskey separate. We don't need CO2 for whiskey, but we need it for beer. So anyway, it comes around, it's pumped into this. Every piece of equipment that is used to make ethanol or alcohol needs to have a registered serial mark from the government. And don't get too close, but you could see ours is the 1,776 piece of equipment that was made by Vendome Copper Works in Louisville, Kentucky, the oldest copper manufacturer in the country.
1776.
1776.
Isn't that a famous date?
Yes. And it's on our, anything that's gone through our still, you'll see it on there.
It smells, one second, what's that smell?
Yeah.
It smells like,
They're distilling.
it smells sweet. Should it smell sweet?
Yeah.
That's the ethos you were talking about?
We're making rum.
This is rum?
New England Spirit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's happening right now. So what happens to them?
Wait a second, this is rum in here?
Yeah. So we mash it in.
Yeah, mash.
We add yeast, and then we bring the wash in, and then alcohol boils faster than water. So alcohol boils at 173.8.
It's like 70-something degrees for those of you who speak Celsius.
And
78?
water is 212.
It's 100 degrees exactly in Celsius for those of you who speak,
And it starts to boil, and as it boils, it's like vapors. So
Right.
the vapors go up through these little plates called bubble plates. It's all copper inside. Yep. And as it goes up, it gets higher and higher in alcohol, and then it goes into this pipe, which is the condenser, and then the vapors turn right back into liquid. And this is the beautiful spirit that comes off the still.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So this is
205 degrees inside right now. So the proof is 120. That's 60% alcohol right there.
yes. This is the important part of distilling when the distillers make their cut. So think of it as a long alcohol chain, and there's three parts to an alcohol chain. There's the heads, the hearts, and the tails. The heads are the stuff that's poison, literally poison. That's what they make nail polish remover from, acetone. So you've got to cut the heads off, and we throw them away.
Don't give people poison.
No heads.
No heads.
What we're after really is the heart of the spirit, and that's where all the good stuff is. So our distillers know their time, they know their temperature, they know their proof, but we'll see them doing this all day because if you feel it's a little bit silky.
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It smells like rum. Wow.
Yeah. So we'll put it back in for a polishing run, but the key is just to capture the heart of the spirit. And that's the best part. And so the longest part of the alcohol chain is the tail. And we keep about 10 or 15% of the tail because it gives it some body and some character. but we'll wash our windows with it, or we'll throw it away. And so that's the difference between us and other distillers, is we want to get as narrow heart as possible, because that's the real high quality stuff. And that's why when you said, geez, I've had some other ryes that some of it's long in the tail, it's the barrel treatment, and just, we're all about the smooth stuff here.
They're all about the heart.
We're all about the heart. So from here, you make a decision, do you want to age it or not? If you don't, so I showed you that Lolly's Original, it needs to be proofed down then to bottle proof. So if it's 86 proof, which we arbitrarily selected, we have to make sure that we get it to 86 proof.
So
we have a $25,000 piece of equipment just to make sure that it's 86 proof.
Wow.
So that's all mandated by the government. So we would take that Evoqua water system there, those 3 long canisters, and that is demineralized water, and we will proof the spirit down to bottle proof.
Someone's charging $25,000 for something that essentially dilutes something.
It just measures it. It doesn't dilute it. It measures.
Just measures it.
Measures the dilution.
It's a racket.
It is, and it's government mandated. So.
Wow, I bet it's someone's cousin.
Yeah, probably goes way back. Then you may want to decide to put this in a barrel. So if we put it in a barrel, you have to decide what kind of barrel, what are you making, and so it's 160 proof. It needs to go into the barrel. There's some law for whiskey, 125 proof or below. So if it comes off the still about 160, we need to then, it's called smithing it down to barrel proof, which is also the same demineralized.
So you're diluting it before you put it in the barrel?
You're diluting it before you put it in the barrel. And if you didn't anyway, you'd lose a whole bunch to the angel share. It just alcohol evaporates. So then sits in the barrel until it's ready. Sometimes it's 5 months, sometimes it's 5 years. It just depends on what you want to make and how you want it to taste. And that's our little filler right there. We've got a big production line, and we hand bottle everything. Yeah.
You're milking out.
Basically,
out the whiskey.
They don't let me do this piece. It's perfectly fine, because every time I do it goes all over the place. But they're good at it. I do more of the decorative labeling.
They're not doing it today, are they? Are they doing this today?
No, they're not.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah.
That would be great.
It is fun to watch and fun to do, actually. Yeah. Then it gets packed like that through the little Boston Harbor boxes.
Great. So it's really done by hand.
It really is done by hand. Yeah, it really is.
Old world charm, huh?
Once you cross this threshold, you walk into what was the last notable entrepreneur that had commerce here. It was the Seymour's Ice Cream Factory.
Oh, this place has a history.
Yes, it does. And we're actually standing in the freezer. So the whole building is 11,000 square feet. This is 3,500, and that's our bonded barrel storage warehouse. So what's really great about this freezer is in the floors, ceilings, and walls is 2 feet thick. It's cork insulation, because that's how you insulate freezers. So we've used that to our advantage. We have a separate temperature zone back there, and we wanted to make sure that we could, when it's really cold, we could heat up the back room a bit so that the spirit is pulsing in and out of the wood, because the deeper it gets drilled into the wood, the more of those sugars, wood sugars and flavors and vanillas and color come out of the barrel. So barrel is really important. We do very heavy char, toasted and heavily charred. All these barrels are full. 53 gallons.
50. How heavy are these? Too heavy.
And this is our malt whiskey is laying down. We have not released that yet. We have about 20 barrels of that, and we are making more. It's about 300 bottles. It depends what the strength, what the proof is.
So it's like $1,000 to buy one.
No, it's like 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
Sorry, I left off a zero there. It's kind of important zero.
Yep, each one of these is
$10,000.
about 10 grand. Yeah.
Wow.
So do the math.
Are you insured?
Of course I am.
Wow.
And now I'm blessed.
Wow. Well, I definitely give you a blessing that you at least should continue to make the rye.
Right. Well, we've
Because
got
I'm
it.
like, well, there it is.
And there it is.
That's probably enough to serve me for the rest of my life. Right over
I
there.
think you're going to really enjoy the malt whiskey as well, because it's all.
Looking forward.
Yeah, looking forward to it too.
I kept it all inside. I've given everything I can. And here we are again.